Greetings Crusaders, FiOth here, and in this video I'm gonna take a moment to explain the function of stance swapping as well as the viability of dual wielding and how you can make it happen. When the game starts, the game pretty much tells you that by pressing Y or triangle or whatever you're using on a keyboard because you're a strange person, forces you to either single hand wield or double hand wield a weapon. If you equip two weapons, you can dual wield them instead of just using one weapon with both hands. How does that work? We're gonna start with the basics. Here I'm using my Paladin Isaac's sword and I have my left hand empty. The way the inventory is structured, you don't necessarily know which hand is what, but the empty hand here, it's our left hand obviously because the Paladin sword is wielded with the right. So I'm gonna equip the Thorned Crimson Rector sword here, and now as you can see I am holding two blades. If I hit Y, I am double-handing the Paladin sword and place the secondary blade on my back. Hit Y again, I am holding both weapons at the same time. This opens a new group of animations and attacks. I'm gonna demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finishing with a smasher and with the heavies. 1, 2, 3. It's actually a string of 3 inputs leading to the double smash. So what do we gain out of this? There's something to be said about the damage that you will be wielding, either one-handing or double-handing your main hand weapon, which is the right hand. When you are dual-wielding, you attack twice per input, and of course both of these weapons will deal damage according to their level and general damage output. There are certain downsides to it though. First and foremost, let's try the dual-handed grip of Isaac's Paladin sword. Fast and fluid motions, discipline strikes, and you pretty much can capitalize on any opening because the strikes are so balanced. If I dual wield swords, I wildly swipe left and right, much slower. If you pay attention to my stamina bar, I lose stamina twice for each one of the two blades wielded as I issue commands. 2 pieces lost, again 2 pieces, 2 pieces again. So dual wielding will offer you extra attacks per click, but these attacks will generally be slower. They will offer fewer chances of cancelling with a roll, and of course expend more stamina. Another downside is the fact that you are carrying 2 blades. So for example, wearing what I am wearing now, my encumbrance is heavy. If I take the Crimson Rector sword off, I am back in the medium with room to spare. So I am lighter and my combos are more consistent by wielding just the one blade. One-handing this is also a pretty viable option, and of course, it goes without saying, this allows usage of a shield, if you are inclined to use one, because, I don't know, I am not a big fan, never have been, but I know many people play with shields, so there's that. When it comes to parrying attacks, I didn't see any changes between wielding one weapon or two, it was pretty much the same thing. But what's getting interesting now is calculating the damage whenever you wield 2 blades, and I'm gonna demonstrate what I mean right away. So we're here at the Vestiges of Chubwave. This is pretty early in the game, and I am just single-handing the Paladin sword. I go to this guard, one attack, 1, 6, 9. I double grip it, 1, 9, 8. Again, 198 and then 200 because the piercing attack is more powerful against these enemies. This had Withering on it, so pay it no mind, not standardized numbers. Now let's see what would happen if I was wielding my sword, having the Rector sword in my left hand. Same enemy, one light attack, 95 and 151. Let's see it again. Let's see it again. 95 with the left and 151 with the right. You are getting the additional damage of 95 whilst hitting with your left hand, and your 169 damage from the right hand now counts as a 151. So you lose 14 damage from your right hand and get the full benefit of the attack of the left hand, which of course strikes with diminished damage, but is pretty much an extra swing. The problem with this situation is that you are double the cost of each one of these swings when it comes to stamina. We already established this. So what's the point of dual wielding? When you are using weapons that can cause bleed, for example, dual wielding means that you are applying twice the bleed effect with every input you give. Granted, you have to land both attacks with these wild swings, but if you land them, you will be dealing double the application of the effect you want to establish. That might be bleed, that might be poison. On top of that, there are specific situations where specific weapons will have additional effects. So I'm gonna place my Saint Latimer Spear on the left hand and my Paladin Isaac Sword in the right hand. Because the spear deals withering damage and I know that it will strike first, this combo capitalizes both on the withered damage and the actual damage of the strike itself. So we can look at some pretty nutty numbers here, but this is a very specific scenario exactly because of the withering effect. If you don't know how withering works, it pretty much creates a gray zone on the enemy's health bar that will be taken out with a subsequent hit, and the damage of the subsequent hit will be calculated as well. So we're looking at damage that is ready to be banked and the actual damage that we are dealing with the attack we are performing. So dual wielding Lords of the Fallen is a balancing act. You have to know what you're going for. Simply double the weapons, double the damage is not the logic you're looking for. You have to take everything under consideration, but used with specific desired effects in mind, it can be a very powerful tool. One more thing to notice, in Lords of the Fallen, you can combo every single kind of weapon into a dual wield scenario, like this huge ass axe and my blade. They work just fine together. A dagger and an axe, a spear and a staff, whatever, there are no requirements. The only requirement you have is you have the stats needed to wield every single one of these weapons, because if you place a weapon here that you don't have the stats for, you still can wield them, but the damage of the weapon that doesn't have the required stats will be pretty pathetic. This is it, people, my breakdown of dual wield and its functions in Lords of the Fallen. I intend to cover pretty much everything I can get my hands on in this game, so sub, like, and hit the bell if you want more content like this. I will also be streaming it, so stay tuned. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!